See, I've been down this road too many times before, and all these guys be playing way too many games. I just got to a place, my heart ain't heavy, babe, and I just wanna give it to you. I'm ready to trust a little, fall a little, give a little, can I now? You make me work a little, touch.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Pinnacle podcast, where we give Chicago artists a platform to express themselves. My name is Minay, and I'm here with high-end TJ.
Thank you.
And we are blessed to be in the presence of the one and only Paige Ellis.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is so fun, so cool.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for working with us on your new project, Tender Souls. For everybody at home, this is the reason that we're here. Paige is dropping an EP December 10th called Tender Souls and is partnering with Pinnacle Chicago to do the listening party. And, throughout the process, we've just been getting to know Paige. She's given us a little snippet of some of her music, and we're going to dive into it today. But before we talk about Tender Souls, Paige, we would love to know a little bit more about you, just kind of how you got started in music, and take it from there.
Okay, well, it was a nice intro. Thank you. I will say Tender Souls is releasing on December 8th, though. I know I did not update you on that change, but one thing about
finding out in real time, we out here.
Yes, I'm an indecisive soul as well. So the 8th is Tender Souls release. But Paige Ellis as an artist. So I really didn't know I could sing. Like, I didn't grow up singing. But I did do, I did a play in 8th grade. It was a musical. I was a Oompa Loompa.
Oh, you did a Willy Wonka play.
Yes, and it was amazing.
Wait, time out. Where did you go to middle school?
I went to a public school, my first public school in Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota
Watton. Gang.
Yes. Woot woot. But yeah, it was my first public school. They had arts, all that. So I auditioned for the play, and I sang, and I loved it. And throughout high school, I was just doing talent shows and everything, and people just,
So before that, you weren't singing at all, really?
No, not really.
Not even when you were doing chores?
So you had the confidence to just try out for a play singing,
Okay.
and you got it? You had to have been singing, like, in the shower. You knew you could sing a little bit, right?
But I knew I could sing, like I had a taste for it. But as far as my memory goes back, it just was like a spark in my soul when I did that play. And I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. So, yeah, I did like doing dishes and singing. That kept me sane.
Man, personally, my least favorite chore would definitely be sweeping. I cannot stand sweeping. Actually, cleaning the bathtub. I'll do it because someone has to do it, but I'm usually the cleaning person.
I'm with you. Bathroom is the worst chores. Anything in the bathroom.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite chore?
I love cleaning the dishes, washing dishes.
Yeah, just humanizing yourself, letting people know you. Paige Ellis loves doing dishes, y'all.
Invite me over to do your dishes.
So, you're doing talent shows in high school. When was the moment that you were like, you know what, like, as far as the singing goes, I really want to take this seriously?
I think throughout high school when I was doing the talent shows, and everybody, even after, on a regular day, walking the hallways, people would just ask me to sing, like happy birthday, or just compare me to Whitney Houston or something, or she's going to be the next, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I think I can actually do this. Like, I enjoy doing it. One of my fondest memories is performing a song that I had written, and it had no music to it, but writing it and singing it at an open mic. One of the girls in the audience ran out and cried because whatever I was singing about, she was going through in her relationship. So it was just the connectedness of my lyrics, and I was sad for her,
That's
but
dope.
Yeah, that's a crazy feeling. And I know how I met you through my friend Josh Onwardy. Shout out Josh. And I got to see you at church a little bit. And when it comes to like, entertainment, when it comes to like performance, there's a lot of I in that. I guess my question to you is like, how do you, you're very early in your career, but like, how do you like balance out your ego with humility? Like, is that something that's important to you? Is that something that you like, is that like a struggle? Is that like a fight? Like, what does that look like?
That's a good question. And I constantly pray. I grew up in a Christian home and have a very firm foundation with God, and just Him constantly opening doors, but also shutting doors. It brings you to reality. Like this is really cool. You're gifted. You're talented. But I gave this to you.
Wow.
So it's just having that memory and knowing God blessed you with something that only He is able to gift you with. So, yeah.
That's real, man.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, so like we're about to get into the album and everything, but I'm still a little bit curious about like Paige Ellis, the artist. Who would you say, like, as you started taking music a little bit more seriously, were some of your inspirations?
Inspirations, I would say musical artists who had deep voices. I always gravitated to like
You think you have a deep voice?
when I sing, you'd be surprised that I sound like that. Just listening to my talking voice, yes.
I don't think you have.
I'm an alto.
Okay.
Alto. Yes.
Gotcha.
So that's on the lower register. But Christina Aguilera, I loved her. I grew up skating in the basement to CeCe Winans and Yolanda Adams. Who else? Brandy. I love Brandy. Yeah, anybody from early 2000s R&B is what I connected to the most, and that's kind of inspired me and kind of shaped my music as well.
And Brandy to me is like somebody on a technical level that I respect so much. Yeah. The way she layers her vocals,
ad-libs.
And the amount of octaves she's able to hit. Like, I feel like anybody...
Very underrated.
Very underrated, honestly. Like, I'm glad there was like a little death scare with her last year or earlier this year.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad she made it. It's kind of like Lil Wayne. Like, I feel like we take these people for granted, and they could be
What happened to Lil Wayne?
Bro, there was like this point, like 2016, 2017.
When he kept having seizures.
He just kept having seizures.
Yeah, I remember that.
Every time he had a seizure, I'd have to go back and listen to No Ceilings. Like, we almost lost this guy. But no, I feel like anybody who takes R&B seriously should be looking at people like Brandy for sure, because it's not just the talent, but it's like the work ethic and the creativity of like bringing the whole package together. But so we've talked about like what inspired Paige, the artist, a little bit. But when we get into Tender Souls, what would you say inspired this collection of songs?
So, Tender Souls, we named the project after all the songs were done because we needed, like, the synopsis. What are we talking about here? But my friend who lives out in New York, his name is Max. We've collaborated on this project, and I was already working on my own thing, and then he's like, oh, we should do something. So I collaborated with another songwriter on most of the songs, and we talked about love and relationships. We talked about being the best versions of ourselves. We talked about letting go of things, along with songs that I had already written about breaking down walls and being the vulnerable self and loving a man and giving him the love he deserves and things
It's
like that.
not
So
easy.
I know it's not. We all have our things that we go through, and that's kind of what Tender Souls is about. Things that we have gone through and where we're trying to go in the future.
Yeah, that's good. And definitely, as the person who got to listen to it, definitely a lot of that. It was kind of like this balance of letting go, but at the same time, just kind of like teasing, like, hey, there's a lot more here. It really sounded like an introduction.
Oh, EP did its job.
Yeah, that-
So there's more in store then.
Is this your first like project being put together? Like, I know you've obviously done songs in the past, but it's your
Yeah.
first like full-fledged project that you've actually like, you know, completed like this before?
This is actually my second EP. So my
Okay.
first EP was called Fears. It's an acronym. You
What does
can-
it stand for?
So it's about all different types of fears, but the title of each song spells out the word. So first, everything, nothing, as I am, right on time, and supposed to. So that's kind of a plug. Go check out Fears
Okay.
by Paige Ellis. But yeah, that was done and released in 2019. So I'm just really excited for everyone to hear the evolution of the sound that I have and the stories that I'm telling.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
And really off to that point before we jump into this first track here, you're speaking about evolutions. So what separates Tender Souls from Fears, and what are you hoping that the audience takes away from Tender Souls?
Well, I have a question for you. When you hear
Please.
Tender Souls, is that a negative vibe or more like, is it something that you're interested, like, what is she talking about?
I mean, I think about it from the perspective of like, well, what's the opposite of a tender soul? Like a hard body,
Yeah.
you know? Like
It's a good question.
like a tender soul to me is kind of like that notion of like, hey, I'm gonna let go of this tough exterior, these hard walls, so that way I can be vulnerable. And something that's like I'm really big on, like people who know me personally know I'm a pretty vulnerable person, and I feel like I feel like vulnerability is like a superpower.
It really is. You want people to understand you and get to know you.
And that's the thing is I have a few life philosophies. One of my major ones is like, hey, one thing every single human being has in common is a desire to be understood. Mm-hmm. And like for artists, that's even more so the case, which is why I love getting to sit down and like give you an opportunity to talk to your fans and like let them know like what's really going on here. Like, we're gonna be vulnerable with the music, but then we also get to be vulnerable with the conversation that the music is meant to spark, right?
Yes. And I mean, every listener, every person who goes to an art gallery has their own idea of what it means to them. But I don't know. I just hope that whatever I say, you would kind of get the feeling, get the vibe that I'm singing about. So.
No doubt. Well,
We getting into it? No, I thought we were about to get into it.
yeah, I'm saying, let's
It's
get
like
into
I
it.
deflected your question, but
You answered by making him answer a question.
yeah. But it
Well,
worked out.
You know, it's a little Socrates, right? I feel like what I said probably like is what you want people to take away from the album. No.
Yeah. Just like it's okay to have a tender soul, whether you want to admit it or not. We all have feelings.
Because it does, tender soul, when you think of like tender soul or sensitivity or things like that, it does kind of have a negative connotation.
Okay.
Especially for men.
Yeah.
I was going to say especially for
But
men.
I feel like these songs are versatile. I'm speaking to women, but also to men too.
Okay.
So
Well,
And you were speaking
you're
to
gonna
me.
get a first-hand reaction.
Yeah, man, you were speaking to me. I had some questions. I'm like,
Because you're talking to two well-seasoned men that have
well seasoned. Great.
that have that have both gone through a lot of things in their life. So like, I'm sure he's already heard it. So I'm sure if he says you were talking to him and he relates to some of it, then I know I'll probably relate to either as much or more of it.
Okay.
Just like in our dealings with women, you know.
Yeah.
But
let's see how it goes.
First track off here, Could It Be?
Could it be?
In the famous words of Oliver El Khatib.
Feeling freer, there's one question. Could it be? 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 Cause when I found you, it felt like this could be. Cause when I found you, it felt like this could be.
Hey.
We got TJ Franklin, our cameraman, getting into it a little bit.
He loves Could It Be.
So that was like really, really good.
Thank you.
That was my first time hearing it. Everyone here, well, our first time hearing it. You both have obviously heard it before. When you're I guess working on these songs, like you can always tell when like like your producers, I would say,
Yeah.
like when you're working on the songwriting and the production, is it like a whole collaborative process? Like how are you getting this done with the beat as well?
With this project specifically, very talented producer from Minnesota. He
Come
goes
on.
by Terry Vincent.
Give him a shout out.
Yes,
Do his thing.
he is great. We have built a relationship over the last couple years and just sending tracks back and forth.
So this is more than just a YouTube beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
That was the big thing that
He
stood
got
out
a
to me.
bass player and everything.
It sounds like the beat was made for your voice, for the
Yeah.
song itself. Like you guys worked together to make something that intertwined versus just laid on top of each other. And that was really, really dope. The song sounds good. It sounds like it's a really good track. Number one, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Thank you. I was a little nervous about that for number one, but
No, it's good. It sounds like the opening of like the intro to Relationship.
okay, yeah.
Literally.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like your lyrics, your the way you came on the track. It sounds like the intro into a relationship. Like if this was a rom-com movie, that would be the opening song title
Yeah.
as the movie starts.
Thank you. I
So-
like that.
Yeah, that was dope.
Local artists at home, focus on sync and licensing deals. It's another way for
Yes.
revenue.
That's the next goal. So
Come on, Paige.
manifestation.
For time, ain't got a question about it. You got it, baby. You got it, baby. The leaves gon' change, but when you're my own life, baby, that's what it's gon' be. Ain't got a question about it.
So that was no question. We stan reassurance because we're only human, so we need it sometimes.
Yeah, that's what that song's about.
So is that the music video song?
No.
That's not the song you're gonna. So out of all the songs, are you doing visuals for any of these?
I actually released a single. That one's next.
Okay, that one's next. Because I was gonna say, if I was to guess, again, I went into this blind. That would be the one that I thought I saw a video for potentially.
That was up for the running.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That seems like that was the meat and bones. There was a lot of, I don't know how to, that's the right way to put it, of an EP. That was a very deep song.
Okay.
I would say, like, you said a lot of stuff on that song that makes, I guess, reassurance makes guys feel good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I think all guys are players.
Oh.
So y'all just,
Oh.
That's
I went
crazy.
there.
First of all, guys need more reassurance than women. No, they
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, you
Just
know
the
what?
same
I
amount.
think that's a good take.
Same amount.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I
The
think
same way
women are just more vocal about the fact that they need reassurance, and
Yeah.
like men, you know, we're coming into a new age. We're like learning how to express our emotions, but
Right.
like, if you're telling me it's no question, man, what?
That's funny.
that's good.
Well, so in hearing that song, you know, the story that I was kind of getting is like, hey, I'm gonna keep it a bean, right? Not every guy is boyfriend material. You're saying every guy's a player. I think,
Well, okay, I over exaggerated, but
But that's not out the norm. You're not the first to say something like that, and you're not gonna be the last to say all men are this, guys are dogs, and I
because
get it.
because the ones that are single typically, like the ones that are like married or in relationships, those are the ones who aren't going to be the players. So it sounds like in this song you ran into a non-player guy who was coming out of a relationship, because if he's not a player, he's probably in a relationship, right? So my first question to you is like, when it comes to your music in general and this EP specifically, how much of these lyrics are based off of like real life experience, and to what extent is the pen solely from your experiences as opposed to like collaboration?
I would say with this project, I was very intentional on trying not to make it so personal, whereas my first project was very personal. Obviously, I can relate to a lot of what I was talking about, but I really wanted to reach an audience like men. I wanted to talk to men, but also wanting them to understand that I feel the way you feel, and I relate to what you're going through. And obviously, me saying that there's no question about us being together, you must have done something right for me to want to prove to you you're the guy. So.
And like, have you ever like, and if this is too personal, obviously we could cut it up, but have you ever like caught a man off the rebound, and like what was that process like, as far as like, they still think about their ex, like?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No, that's funny. That's a good question.
It's like, do I want to disclose this? But no.
TJ knows why I'm asking. As we discuss vulnerability as a superpower here.
Yeah. Go ahead. Like, so have you caught somebody and thought, man, you might still be talking to your ex?
Well, this person, I wasn't in a fully committed relationship with this person, but they put me in a situation where there was a lot of things that were hidden, and I was the rebound. So,
do you feel like they owe that to you if you're not committed? They owe that to reveal to you what's being hidden, because if you're not in a committed relationship and you're quote unquote going with the flow, and I want to hear this from you from a woman's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the guy owes you that kind of, I guess, courtesy to let you know what he might be doing when he's not with you, or this or that, if you're not in a committed relationship?
That's a good question.
Well, if you're not in a committed relationship and you know that they're dating other people, then no, it's not really your business. But you date with intention. We're all grown. So, like, why are we talking if you have a whole nother girlfriend? Why are we talking if you have a baby on the way?
Okay. Yeah. See, those are valid points. Okay.
But I'm very transparent in my dating as well. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you know, like, I'm talking to him over there.
Yeah, for real, man. Because
so you're my fault.
No, go ahead.
So you're transparent with the guy as well. You'll tell him, hey, I'm talking to another dude, by the way.
I'm a very blunt person, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, because guys don't handle that kind of stuff well. Yeah. Guys are very double standard. They fought like
men are super sensitive. Bro.
I'll do what I want to do, but you can't do what you want to do.
Admit it.
Yeah,
I'm happy you just
How is that gone? When you've told somebody, like, I have another date, or I might be, when you just told somebody, you let it be known that you're messing with somebody else. How is the guy taking that?
They'll brush it off, like.
Of course, like, they don't
care. Like, they don't care. But then the next time you talk to them, is that your other boyfriend?
Yeah. Wrong nigga.
Right. Exactly. So.
That's me. Wrong dude. Text the other dude. That's funny. No, I definitely feel that though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with No Question for sure. Just different things that like I've been going through. It's like, man.
You wish she would just tell you?
No, but that's the thing. So to your point about transparency, I'm of the same mindset because what is the golden commandment, right? In Christianity, it's love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And then if you're to secularize that, it's treat others the way you want to be treated, right?
Exactly.
And so I'm not dating right now, but that's kind of how I approach dating. It's like transparency is big for me. I will be transparent. And like, because I expect that reciprocated, because like we can't work if that transparency is not there. And so like sometimes like it creates like some nuanced situations. But like, because I mean, it's like, okay, like, I mean, there's something so magnetic about the truth, right?
It is, yeah.
Like it hurts, but it's like such an
now you know what you're working
respect.
with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could work with it.
I'm with you guys, but
Oh, so you be keeping secrets.
Oh, he's the king of double standards.
yo, what is up with this dude?
High end teach.
Nah,
king of
I'm
double
with
standards.
you guys, but I also feel like most times the truth hurts. And it's like keeping something. It's like, look at it like this. It's like your parents lying to you and telling you Santa was real. It's not to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's to protect you.
Yeah.
If you're 5 and they let you know, no, Santa's not real, I have to work the next 2 extra shifts to get you this gift. That's why I couldn't make it to your dance recital or whatever, like, because I was working
lessons on
to get you them
capitalism.
toys. You're going to look at life so different from the age of 6, but they're going to let you believe that lie till you develop a little bit more and then might tell you the truth. I feel like it's kind of like that when you're dealing with, every situation is different, obviously. So, but I do feel like there are some things, especially if you are not in a committed relationship, if you're not exclusive, if you're not whatever, like, there are some things that you just don't need to say. Like, if I was talking to someone, I'm always under the assumption that there's somebody else in the picture, unless we make it known that it's just us.
Right.
I'm always under the assumption. So I wouldn't need somebody to tell me, hey, I have another date today.
Well, you wouldn't do that.
You'll be surprised. Or I'm going to go, or like, you'll be surprised at how people will let you know that they have options.
Oh,
And it's like, you don't have to. Like, I assume.
Yeah, to me, that's immature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that notion of like, okay, like we're messing with each other because like we have rhythm. There's like a certain level of like respect here. Like, hey,
That's what it is, disrespectful.
yeah, you don't want to like throw it. Like, I already know you're talking to other people. You don't have to throw it in my face though. I'm not, because I wouldn't do that to you because I understand how that show sees like, what if this could be something that's serious? What if it could be sorry, I butchered
He did
that.
it. He went there.
You gotta add in post, add the song when he starts singing it.
Yeah, just that
I
little.
have to just.
Could it be? Could it be?
Well, this again, I had a lot of fun with this song, and I feel like we could spend the rest of the podcast here, but there's so much good music to get to. So,
Yeah.
want to jump into Best for Me, and
A little is next.
a little.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh. The single, a
Yeah.
little. Alrighty.
To a place, my heart ain't heavy, babe, and I just wanna give it to you. I'm ready to just a little, for a little, give a little, can I now? You make me work a little, touch a little, breathe a little, don't let me down. I've gone crazy, but baby, I'm ready. So can we trust a little, fall a little, love a little, right now?
Just finished listening to a little.
And public service announcement. We're going to talk about a little, but if you are having a dinner party in November, that doesn't automatically make it Friendsgiving. Had to be said.
We're all
Okay.
friends.
All right. Yeah. So we just jumped out of a little, really enjoyable song. Really obvious. Well, it's not really obvious why you would make it the single.
I think it was pretty obvious. Listen to the other two songs. I thought, I love the first one. Really liked the second one. And then once I heard the third one, I was like, okay, that's the single. Because I thought the second one should have been a single. But hearing the third one, I was like, yeah, I can see why y'all made that the single. I like it. I think it's fire. I don't know if that's a song for the girls or for the guys. I guess that is for the definitely for the girls, but it's
yeah, for sure.
You're still speaking to us in a sense. At least I think so.
And that's the cool thing about getting to like actually break down the music with the artist in question, is because I feel like a lot of the music that as men we might listen to and just be like, oh no, that's just Beyonce speaking to her grooves, her material grooves. The reality of the situation is, if you like sit down with it, like as human beings, we have a lot more in common than we give ourselves credit for. But like for me, like when it came to a little, it kind of felt like a little bit of a role reversal from No Question, whereas like No Question, you are the woman of his dreams, letting him know that yes, he is worthy of your love and he never has to question himself. Whereas like this time, well, obviously I'm being a little over dramatic there, but in a little, it kind of seems like you're coming out of something.
Yeah. Like you're ready to be loved again.
Exactly. And you're just like, you're tiptoeing into love as opposed to falling into the abyss of it. It's just like a cautious approach. Like you said, you've been here before.
Right.
And so like, I guess like, was that intentional?
This song I actually co-wrote with my friend MTA.
Shout out MTA.
Yeah, we did Zoom sessions. So
really,
he lives in Philly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he would come to the session like, what do you want to talk about? What did he do? What?
Oh, so this is more personal.
Yeah. Yes,
This
finally.
one's definitely more personal.
We gotta go into. You should have said that going into the song.
Yeah,
I mean, listen to it a little bit different, knowing that.
It's basically like the climax of your singleness and everything that you've been through in the past, and you know that you want something, and I'm seeing potential here, but I'm gonna give it to you like little by little. A little, I want to touch a little, I want to feel a little, I want to give a little, I want to work a little, and I want to give it to you.
So since this is like a little bit more of like a personal track, like how long do you usually give yourself to like recover from a relationship gone wrong before you're ready to like explore the possibility of love again?
I'm not the one to date like a lot.
How many boyfriends have you had?
I've only had I literally have only had like 2.5.
2.5. The half sounds like the
we
most.
Know what a half is.
Yep. We've been the half before.
We know what a half is.
Yeah. So I mean, fortunately, that's sad. But at least you know, you're aware.
Joking. I'm joking.
Not joking.
Definitely joking. Like chill.
Sorry, go ahead.
What were we talking about?
Like how long you usually give yourself. You've been in 2.5 relationships.
Yeah.
And like before you get into like when you've transitioned out of those relationships and into the next era of your loving, like how long do you usually give yourself to heal?
I think it's different for everybody, but for me, in my experience, at least a year to just be like fully, I'm done. I'm over it now, and I'm ready for something else. But
it's a long time.
It is.
When you say a year of healing, what does healing entail?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Yeah,
I mean, you know it's different.
Healing
for
is different. I was gonna say healing is different for everybody.
Lots of crying.
Okay. Yeah.
Praying for change. baths and shopping and friends
Retail
and
therapy.
it might be a download of some app.
Come on.
And
Ooh,
just
yeah.
talking
Dating
to other
apps.
people maybe to
Gotcha.
boost your
Gotcha.
boost your
'Cause that
ego
was
a
gonna be
little
my
bit.
next question. During that year of healing, are you talking or interacting with other people?
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, but you're not giving.
Full energy.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah,
not
I got
even
you.
giving a little.
You just don't want to be alone. Given just you
pretty
just
much. Just to
yeah.
be honest, who
Yeah.
wants to be alone?
Ooh.
But when you're confident enough, it's okay to be alone.
Facts.
But if you still have that little crack in your heart, it's
This
just like,
kind of touches on what TJ Franklin was talking about, like the whole notion of, allowing yourself time to be by yourself and know who you are and know what you need, what actually complements you. But like it's tough though because like it's hard to do that alone sometimes. Like we're so used to sharing so much of ourselves that like having to like withhold, I don't know, it's like it's kind of like a weird sensation and like it's really uncomfortable to sit with that sometimes. But I always say like no growth happens in comfort. So
that's true. It's very hard to get out of your comfort zone.
No growth happens in comfort. That's dope.
and yeah, I mean you did touch on the apps. I have some theories about the apps.
The apps, okay.
Yeah,
What are your theories?
just the algorithms, like my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual intimacy preferences all being boiled down to algorithms. Like, there's just something so unnatural to me about just like swiping for love.
Well, I think it's a lot to do with your sign too. We're so into horoscopes. When I was on the app, not recently, I'm not even gonna say recently, but the last time I was on the app, I peeped that you could see, Capricorn, Aries,
Yep.
Taurus,
Capricorn gang.
and they're gonna match you with the person that you're most compatible with.
What's your horoscope?
When's
I'm
your
a
birthday?
Capricorn.
When's your
Oh, yeah.
birthday?
Christmas Eve.
Hey!
I like my birthday.
Me too. Not really, actually. I don't like my birthday.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a Capricorn as well.
oh, when is it?
January 9th.
Okay.
It's like 2 weeks after Christmas.
What
So
are
everything
Capricorns
I don't
Known
get,
for?
I don't even want to talk
Very-
about it anymore. The Lord redeemed me, but I do definitely know like my moon and rising and sun
Oh,
and
you
all that
do?
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. I used to nerd out over it because what it was is like the people just like I said, people love being understood. So you would pull up to a party and be like, "Oh, you're a Scorpio. I know all about you."
Right.
And then Shorty would be like, "Oh yeah." And then you just start like saying things and you'll get some yeses, you'll get some nos, but at the end of it you learn a little bit more about them. So like it's still like a party trick for me, but like, I want to be really intentional about giving people the space to introduce themselves to me on their terms as opposed to being the type of person who digs for gold cuz like
Digging for gold meaning like asking for horoscopes. I already know you.
as in just in the sense of like like human like the information that we have, like they say our data points are more valuable than oil at this point. And it's like, man, like I don't want to just extract that information out of somebody like just for my ego or just so that way like I can control or like manipulate a situation. Like I want to give people the space to allow themselves to be vulnerable around me without me like kind of tricking them into being vulnerable around me.
Makes sense.
But definitely a lot more of like a nuanced conversation as opposed to like when we talk about falling in love a little bit. But you like the apps. Yay, nay? How do you
Not
feel?
really. It was more so like I'm sick of crying over this. So I'm about to find me something
A
really
distraction.
quick. Yeah, a
A
distraction.
distraction. No, guys know that all too well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's like one thing about the apps too, it's like, like since you're literally filtering through people, by the time you meet them in person, this is what I've been told because I haven't been on the apps, but like it kind of like, it's not the same spark as to like when your girlfriend introduces you to one of her coworkers and then like he just like charms you and he just like catches you off guard. Like there's not really that space to be caught off guard.
Well, who does that anymore, though?
I was about to ask. Yeah, I don't know the last time somebody said, "Yo, I want to set you up with somebody because I think y'all would hit it off
we
together."
Need to go back to it.
How about this? For the guys listening, what is your type?
Yeah, hit
What
us
is
up
my
on
type?
Twitter and let us know.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
I'm talking about her. You talking
Oh.
about hit us up? No, I'm saying, what is your for the guys listening? What is your type?
Personality-wise,
Yeah, let's do personality.
First, let's start with personality. Yes.
confident but not arrogant.
Okay.
I hate a guy who'd be talking all this stuff, but then it's like it's time to show for it,
And you don't show it.
I'll pass.
Writing a check. with his
Someone
mouth
who
and
has
cash.
aspirations and working towards those aspirations. Gentleness, like being nice. Can you be nice to me?
Fruits of the spirit.
Yes. Tall, dark, and handsome. Okay, that's it.
Oh, I'm blushing. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I just want what's best for me. For me. For me. For me. You want for me. For me. For me. For me. Finally I see. I see. I see. I see what's best for me. For me. For me. For me.
This is like one of the gentlest emotional roller coasters that you're going to get an opportunity to ride on. To go from a little where you decide to give this man a smidgen.
To deciding to do what's best for you.
Man.
Which ain't him.
Yeah.
Dang.
Clearly. No. Yeah. Clearly.
Yes, he messed up real bad. But
We've all messed up before.
yeah.
You gotta give him another chance.
Wait, what is the like worst thing? What's the worst thing that you've ever forgiven a man for?
Cheating.
Like
Okay.
caught cheating or just he was cheating in your head?
That's a
Like,
fair question.
Yeah, that is a fair question because you could ask. I'm sure some girls in my past that you would ask and they'll be like, "Oh, I forgive him cheating." It's like I was cheating in your head. Like I was never cheating.
No, it was evidence.
Confirmed. Okay, phones. You did say that in a song.
Yeah.
You saw text
Dang.
messages.
So this one is also based on real life experiences.
It could be. Yeah. Some aspects. of
Nothing
it.
recent.
It was
I'm guessing.
inspired
It was
by.
inspired by previous experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also co-written as well.
So you have. Okay, so have you gone through phones before?
Yeah.
Oof.
No shame in my game.
Wait.
You looked at me or did you look at the
The
camera?
camera. Come on, man. What did I do? So wait, you've gone through multiple phones? Is that like a thing you do?
I went through about 2 phones before.
Okay.
2 phones. That's it.
And I'm guessing both times you found what you was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard somebody that gone through a phone and said, no, it was all you. It was
No,
gassing
there
me
has
up.
been times where I've looked and I couldn't find anything, but
What'd you do
you
then?
know.
Did you say sorry?
Yeah, like if you
Did
go
you
through
take
my phone
accountability?
and you find nothing, yeah, we're going to have a talk.
Well, then it's you're cheating in my head. So
Like that's another thing, and I think that is definitely grounds
social
for-
media has definitely messed up a lot of things for our mental and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable
True.
because we admire things every single day. And when it comes to the opposite sex, it's like, I don't know. It depends. If you have that kind of relationship with your partner that y'all are just like, oh, that's cool.
Nah,
Then-
I don't know.
Any woman that I've ever been with has felt
Or
a
you
lot
are
of,
currently with.
I'm not currently with anybody.
Uh-oh.
My fault.
Any woman that I've ever been with has had a lot of liberty with me, and you know, I feel like that's personally gotten in the way of me and my goals, which is to be married. Like, I don't know, I feel like structure kind of like creates a level of respect. Like if I'm like, hey, like this is what you can and can't do. This is what I do and don't take as disrespect. Like if I drew like a little bit more of like a sharper line, I feel like
Communication is key.
Yeah, communicate. But like that's the thing
1000%.
is like I communicated well, but like I was like, yeah, like I don't care if you like dance with other guys, like because I really don't.
Okay, hold on. Whoa, we talked about
So
commenting.
but I don't
Dancing
care
is
about that
another
either.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
How
if
do
you're
you
like
feel about
under
that?
if you're like under like
I don't know,
another
That's
Dancing-
physical touch.
Dancing these days is, I'm gonna
You
shake
go-
my booty a
that's
little
what I'm
bit.
saying. You're shaking. You're gonna be dancing on me.
yeah, bro. That does
Dancing
not
is
bother me.
stimulating. It's
Yeah, teach his
simulating.
own.
It's stimulating like sex. It's sexual acts like dancing. That's really
It's-
what it is.
Yeah, but it's just fun though. It's like sex without the connection, and it's like
Yeah.
honestly, like it doesn't bother me if we're dating and you're like liking another dude's post.
That's one
That
thing. I
doesn't
don't care
bother
about
me.
likes.
Like if you're like commenting like hard eyes, okay, well now you're disrespecting.
Yeah.
me.
What if they slide in your DM, congratulating you or something, or
And then what
and
do
you respond hearting it, or just a smiley face, or
That's
that's bro. That's graceful.
perfectly fine. Yeah,
Okay.
double like it. Or thank you. Like whatever. Now, obviously, I know how guys are. We
No.
both know how guys are.
If you're
They'll
like
slide in
sending
your
like
DMs and
cat
congratu-
emojis like in response to them, it's like whoa.
You being a singer, so I'm sure you're going through this.
it's hard. Yeah. It's
Guys
hard.
will slide in your DMs probably
mostly saying congratulations.
just to start the conversation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or-
We're not slick.
But then you.
But we don't
also-
gotta be slick because it still works. I'm sure, like it works. Like I'm
Does
sure
that work?
it's worked for somebody.
What do you mean worked? Did
Like
it
has
work?
has anybody ever like slid in your DMs because of your music and then ended up taking you on a date?
It never followed through, but I can tell. I can tell when people want something else, but I shut it down. And I have to also respect the people who like my content.
Yeah, definitely.
So
And I feel like I feel like trying to do something like that is more childish. Like you should be way more direct.
yeah,
Sliding, it's like having a painter or somebody. Like I've seen a lot of girls that paint or do this. Guys will slide in like they want to paint it, they want this. They'll ask you for your services and your time, and you think you're about to either make a sale, a connection, or this and that. And then as soon as you start entertaining it, you see what their true intentions are. And I could see that would get me so upset.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the toughest
Unfortunately,
part.
I've
Yeah.
had a situation like that.
Especially when you're trying to work, you're trying to grind,
Mhm.
you're trying to hustle. Like that would be. It'll feel like a big waste of
Yeah.
time. You could have just came in on some hard eyes or whatever, versus trying to waste
Mhm.
my time, having me think one way.
Yeah, man. And
Just a pivot.
honestly, like for the artists that are watching this right now, TJ and myself, we're really respectful. We're about the art first, the business second, and the relationships are tertiary, man. Like if the vibes are there, the vibes are there.
Tertiary.
Big word.
Uh-oh,
Bringing
I'm
up the
finna
Tuesday
Google
words,
that.
okay.
I got y'all. Tertiary. It's like you have your primary, your secondary, and your tertiary.
Okay.
So, that's kind of how we approach business. That's why, with Paige, it's all love because it actually started in the spirit. And so I just want to take a moment and just thank God for this, for getting to ingest this beautiful art, for the grace that he put on Paige's life that she now gets to share with the world because it's all ultimately for his glory. And I think that's really actually a great transition into the last song,
Yes,
The Greatest.
It is.
Oh,
And I really hope people walk away with this song knowing it's not an arrogant song.
Cause I just wanna be great in all that I do. Impossible. No reason I should fall back now. Nothing gonna knock me down. So well, I'm gonna be the one to show you it can be true. Cause I believe in me. Yes, I believe in me.
So I just have like a couple like thoughts that are just like running through my mind. The first one of those is like, man, for your fans who get the pleasure of learning these lyrics, I kind of like think about it like I'm a huge Kanye West fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was,
Me too.
let's go.
Yeah. Despite what's going on. Yeah.
Exactly, man. Graduation still hits. All of his stuff still hits. But during his Yeezus era, I watched all of his videos. Every single interview that he did, I watched it and I took notes on it. One of the things that he said on Zane Lowe, he was talking about how when people sing his songs, it's meant to be like a shot of espresso for them, like a confidence espresso.
Okay.
Like, hey, like when he's saying, "I am a god," he's saying it knowing that the audience is reciting those lyrics for themselves. Like, "I am a god." In Psalms, it says, "Ye are gods," right? And like Ye, even again, like he named his album Ye because it means you. And like he wants you to see himself in the art, right?
Yeah.
And so when I hear this and you're saying, "I believe in me," for those people who are just like struggling, who are thinking about maybe just ending their dreams, ending their life, really like looking for like permanent solutions to temporary problems, if a song like this comes on and they can just say, "I believe in me," like I take it to the next level as somebody who loves Jesus, and I say, "I believe in me because God believed in me."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the ethos of like what you're really getting at here.
For sure. I mean, no matter what we all go through, it's easier said than done, of course, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to surround yourself with the right people. I talked about letting some people go. Everybody, it took me a long time, but everybody's not meant to go on the journey with you. But just hoping that it really does take you understanding yourself and knowing yourself and believing in yourself in order to execute appropriately. Yeah.
So, what was your favorite song?
Great question.
Okay. That's such a vague question.
It's not a vague
It's
question.
not?
I have follow-ups for everything, but what was your just general favorite song?
I smile the most when I listen to The Greatest.
That's a good answer.
Yes.
So then what was your favorite song to make?
To
Good
make.
question. And why?
Yeah, like the process of everything. Like you said, you were writing, could it be since what? You said November of 2020?
Yeah.
Like, I know what it's like to work on a song for a long time and see it come to fruition. That usually ends up being the favorite. The song that you worked the longest, the hardest on, even if the fans don't like it, that's your personal favorite of what you went through. You said The Greatest makes you smile the most.
Yeah, because I'm just proud of myself. I am.
You should be.
But could it be just because I did start that? That was the first song I ever started, and I just got the performance track to that one, and I was just practicing, for my future performances. I'm like, this is fun to perform. So I like that one too.
Yeah, and that kind of gets me into just like in the short term, I know that you're performing at Promontory.
Yes, the Promontory. It's actually my first performance here in Chicago.
Ooh, where can we get tickets?
Go ahead, plug yourself.
On my website, there are tickets. You can also go on to the promontorychicago.com to get the tickets on December 10th. It's a lineup of 2 different artists. It's a R&B soul night. So you can hear some of these songs, some of my old content. Yeah, it'll be a fun night. I'm excited.
That's good.
Might have some special guests.